my name is Seti and welcome back to another tips and tricks with AppsEvents and Acer. AppsEvents.com, the place for you to find tips and tricks that you can use in your classroom. So let's add another one to it. In today's video, I'll be giving you 5 tips to make the most out of your use of Google Drive. So let's jump into Google Drive. Here I am in my Google Drive, and the first tip is all about clear folder structures and color coding. So here you can see I have my folder structure. Everything is numbered and color-coded. Now, I've talked about this skeleton of folders in a previous video, which you'll see in the link at the top, but that's the key thing that you'll want to do at the start of the school year is decide on that folder structure. Now, if you ever create a new folder and you've forgotten to number it, there's a couple of ways that you can do this quickly. So let's create a new folder. I'm going to create a new folder. This will be a folder about a holiday event, so holiday event planning. And we're going to create that folder. Afterwards, I realized that I haven't numbered this. I want to give this the number 5. I could always go in, right click, rename. There's a faster way to do that, and that's by just using the shortcut N. N, I remember it as N for new name, and we're just going to add in that number at the start. 5 space hyphen, and now we've quickly renamed our folder. We can also color code this. We can just simply change that color to any color we want. There we go. I'm going to give it a new color. Another thing that you will have noticed is that my Google Drive here at the top has this suggested bar. I find this distracting, and so what we can do is we can go into our settings here, settings, and then scrolling down, we can turn this off. So here I can turn off those suggestions. Now I have a clear overview of my folder structure. Which brings me to tip number 2, and that is the difference between location of a file or creating a shortcut. So let's say that we've been planning this event, and I have some planning notes here. These are my notes, they're in my drive, and I now have to add them to a shared folder. So let's say that this holiday event planning, at the moment an empty folder, but this is shared with other people, and so I want to share my planning with them. I could simply click, drag and drop this into that folder, and now everyone has access to the document. However, this means that when they delete this document or accidentally delete it, it is gone from that shared folder. Now, another way that I can move this into a shared folder is by creating a shortcut. Now, in order to do that, you can simply, again, click on this folder, drag it, and just before you drop it, you're going to hold down the Control key. Now you can see it gets an extra little icon there, and that is the creation of a shortcut. Now when I release that, it creates a shortcut within the folder. You can see my original document is still here, but inside this shared folder is a shortcut to the document. People can go ahead, access the document, make changes, and in the event that they delete this, so let's go ahead and move this to the bin, I still have my original document right there in my Google Drive. If you ever want to check the location of a document, you can always click on that document and then on the right hand side, open up the details. Here, that location is shared right there in your details. Tip 3 is all about search. Now, let's say that I'm searching for the meeting minutes. I can go to the top and I can type in minutes. The only problem here is that 2 files show up because in my Google Drive I have a work folder and I have a school folder. Now this is a very small Google Drive, it's a demo account, but imagine having thousands of folders and files, and it can get very confusing to find the right document if they have similar titles. So another thing we can do is we can return to our main drive, and if we know where the minutes are located, so for example, I'm looking for school minutes, not AE minutes, I can right click on that folder and I can click on search within. This is now going to run a new search, but this search will only look within this folder and ignore the other folders. So now I can search for minutes and it will pull up that single file. This will really speed up how you locate your different files. Right click and then search within the folder. Tip number 4, make sure that offline is enabled. Now you want to be able to continue working on your files both offline and online. So in order to do that, go into your settings, click on settings, and then here what we're going to do is we're going to have to tick the following box where it says create, open and edit your recent docs, sheets and slides on this device on this device while offline. Once you click on Done, you can now work with your files even when your device goes offline. And tip number 5 is all about images. We all come across interesting things, maybe in a bookshop, or we read something in a book, or we've seen something online, and we'd like to pull the text from that image. We want to use it in maybe a lesson plan or in our classes. Well, you can do that with Google Drive. So here, for example, in my AE folder, I have this image that I've pulled from Twitter. And this is all about the International Schools podcast, which, by the way, you should definitely check out. There will be a link in the description below. And I would like to pull the text here on the right-hand side. Now, instead of manually going into a Google Doc, typing everything up, I can use OCR, or optical character recognition, to do this for me. In order to do that, upload your image to your Google Drive, right-click on the image, and then select Open with Google Docs. Google Docs is now going to go into that image, pull all the text that it recognizes from the image, and give it to you in a Google document. So here you can see we have that image for reference at the top, and then underneath that, we have all the text that was within that image. I can change the text color. There we go. I can copy it, paste it, use it in my lesson plans, in my slides, or in my materials that I'm sharing with students. This is great when you're reading books with your students and you want to highlight different paragraphs, or maybe you want to send home a paragraph from that book that we are all reading in class. You can quickly snap a picture of it, upload it to Google Drive, and then use this OCR to get access to that text and share it with your students. And these are my 5 tips to make the most out of using Google Drive. This was another tips and tricks with AppsEvents and Acer. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.